Joining me now is Brandon Oldenburg, who's going to be taking on Brett Martin next this Friday, September the 9th at NEF 49 here in Bangor, Maine. Brandon, how are you?
Good, really good.
Happy to have you on, man. And it is fight week, so I know some guys get a little crotchety, especially with the whole weight cut process. And your fight's at 185. What is that cut like for you? What are you at right now?
It's not too bad. I'll make it fairly easy. I walk around most times around 215 on average. But I do a pretty good job cutting everything down. Primo has us on a pretty good regimen all through camp to change our diet, our living habits, and everything to get us slowly where we need to be, so we're not just killing ourselves the last week or so.
Right. And obviously, you mentioned Primo. You're at Vision Quest Muay Thai under Primo Bellarosa. I want to dive into camp and all that, but first, I just wanted to ask you, get a little background on you, just as a fighter, as an athlete. How did you fall into combat sports? What is your background?
Well, right out of high school, and I'm a little older. I'm no spring chicken, but I started training with a couple of local guys back then. Not many people know of him, but Adam Sawyer was training back here a long time ago. So I got in with him. Things kind of went south. He pieced out, and life took over, and I just kind of went about my ways. But I always kind of wanted to get back into it. I traveled for work for a lot of my life, and I'd find different gyms here and there to go to. And then, lo and behold, Primo Bellarosa moved into town, and the buzz started coming around, and figured I ought to check this guy out. So I contacted him about taking some privates before he had the gym, and hit it off, and things went well, and now I'm sucked right into it, and here we are.
What aspect of mixed martial arts do you like the best? I mean, some guys they'll start as a BJJ practitioner and it kind of evolves from there. Other guys like standing and banging, whether it's boxing, kickboxing. What is it that you like best?
Oh, I love standing up. I'm one of the weird ones that I'll take a beating to give a beating any day. I love it. Just throwing heavy hands and seeing what happens.
And what is it about Primo in particular that makes him such a great coach for someone like yourself?
Oh man, he is. It's amazing. He's two or three steps ahead of everyone on everything. His technique, his way to break down each individual fighter. It's not like, obviously, you get guys like me or guys like Ryan, guys like Timmy in the gym, and we're all completely different fighters. And he knows how to work his way around each of us to get the best he can out of all of us, and hone in all of our skills. At the same time, he has a broad, understanding of every part of mixed martial arts, so he can teach us every end of it and bring it all together. It really works out well.
So Vision Quest has a variety of different size fighters in there, right? Ryan, he's tall and long. He's fighting at welterweight now. You're fighting a weight class up from him. Who are the main guys that you're primarily sparring and getting that working with?
Most of the time right now it's me and Ryan on an everyday basis. It's a blessing and a curse. I get to train with the best, but at the same time, I get my lickings. But we got guys like Charles Sullivan, Chainsaw. He's he's had a few fights. He came to us from down south, and he's a big brawler, big kid. I mean, we always joke about same size in the gym, but he's a big dude. He hits hard. He's getting really good. And then of course, any kind of wrestling, Julian Sorois gets put in there, and that guy just has a field day throwing us all around. So, I got a really good mix of guys on every aspect of mixed martial arts. They all have something to bring to the table.
How is Ryan looking in camp?
Oh man, Ryan looks awesome. He's dangerous. He's super focused. He's on, him and Primo just on such the same page. They work so well together. Both have the same drive. He really wants to make it to the next level and understands that this is, kind of his last push. We actually both went to high school together. So, known him for a long time, and we're getting older. So we want to do something in the sport, and he's obviously at that level where he can really make it somewhere. So.
Well, obviously with him being a seasoned veteran professional fighter and you kind of earlier on in your amateur career, what are your goals in comparison to like someone like Ryan who's trying to get it to, Bellator or the UFC? What is it that you're trying to accomplish?
Man, I'd like to first at least get a win under my belt, and then go from there. But long-term goals, I've got a few years left in me doing this. So I'd like to pad a little bit of winning record and maybe see a couple of pro fights in my future and be pretty satisfied with that. I just love doing it. Keeps me going, keeps me young, keeps me feeling good. So
you mentioned getting a couple of wins under your belt. I want to rehash your debut fight, and that was against Bryant Wade. I was doing the commentary there for that fight, and I want to be respectful because Bryant landed a big shot, right? And it looked like it hurt, right? I mean, you can tell me a lot more than anybody else, but. Yeah. I just felt, objectively speaking, that it was an early stoppage. I know Primo felt the exact same way. Just run me through your emotions, like looking back at it now. What was your thought process then? What do you think of it now? And do you want a rematch with Bryant Wade?
Yeah, I mean, he caught me good. I didn't have my hands up. He actually broke my nose, but he didn't put me out. I was still all there. I jumped right back up. And I felt it was stopped early, but all the credit to Bryant. I mean, he got a good hit in, enough to drop me, but it wasn't enough to finish me. He's a hell of a competitor, and I think he plans on getting more fights. And yeah, I'd love to. If that opportunity came up in the future, I'd love to have a rematch.
Do you feel though, like just for any amateur fight, regardless of who's in there, that shot, I mean, you say, I didn't realize he broke your nose, but did you feel like that was a justified stoppage in any way, shape or form? Or is it just because maybe you're, a tough guy, maybe tougher than the normal amateur fighter in there, that maybe it's a little different?
No, I've watched it a lot, and I've seen a few of other ones too. So being unbiased to watch, if it was another fighter, anyone, and that happened, I'd have the same feelings about it. I now looking back on it, I'll take responsibility, not keeping my hands up, not protecting myself. But I feel I should have at least had the chance to, I was back on my feet. If he would, I think if he would have came at me when I went down and started throwing some punches in while I was on the ground, then maybe. But he hit me pretty hard, and I think he thought it was hard enough to put me out, but so he kind of took off. But I mean, as soon as he turned his back, I was standing up, hands up, ready to keep fighting.
Did you get a chance to talk much with referee Dale Hart or Bryant after the fight?
Yeah, Dale came up to me afterwards. He was super respectful. He apologized. We kind of talked back and forth about the feelings about it, and he seemed to feel pretty sincere that he made a mistake, and it's totally understandable. I mean, us as fighters make mistakes all the time, pay for it. It happens on the other end too. I know, amateur fights are tough to call. Yeah. They're not quite as lenient as pros are. They got to be a little bit tighter, so it is difficult. And Bryant, yeah, I've talked to him a few times. Right after the fight, since the fight, we were in the same locker room when I was cornering Ryan and Julian for the last one, so I got to talk to him a little bit. And I think he felt the same way, and I think in the future, him and his coaches wouldn't mind seeing a rematch too.
Yeah, I think everyone would love to see that. And he seems like, he's got a lot of power too, just much, very much like yourself. So that would be a rematch that I'm sure all the fans would love to see at some point down the line. Does that, the result of that fight, does that leave you with even more of a chip on your shoulder? Does it leave you angry? Because it's been a minute since that's happened. Like, what do you feel like when you're in there training? Because I'm sure you want everyone that follows the sport in the area to know, just how good you are.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty disappointing. They, like you said, guy, we're posting all the time. I'm training all the time, in the gym all the time. Devote a lot to it, so it's a letdown for myself when something like that happens. And, people seem to expect more out of you, and they know who you're training with and how much you're training. And I didn't get a chance to show that. So I took a little bit of time off, from fighting, but I've trained the whole time. Gotten a lot better, physically in better shape, stronger. Really wanted to make sure that, that I was even more ready than I was before to step back in there. So
How long did it take for your nose to heal completely?
oh man, it actually I kind of messed up there because after a couple weeks it seemed fine. It was all back to normal, and then in training, I thought I could start wrestling with Julian, and he threw me pretty good, and I caught his shoulder, and it split back open again. So it was a few weeks after that, and some didn't spar for a little while, but it's all good now. So
What is that like too? Like, are you this might be a stupid question, but can you breathe out of your nose at all when it's broken? Or are you just completely
oh
a mouth breather at that point?
yeah, I couldn't at all. I was 100% a mouth breather.
Man, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. How does that affect the sleep?
Oh man, I started snoring like crazy. My wife hated it. I never snored till then. So
I don't have a broken nose, or I never have, and I snore, I guess, pretty bad. So my wife hates me regardless whether broken nose or not. So I can feel your wife's pain a little bit there, because I get it all the time from her. But let's talk about just the balance between your job, your family, your training, because I know you got a lot on your plate. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Moosehead Trail Power Sports. Is that the business that you own? So
yep.
what is that dynamic like day to day for you, for all the responsibilities that you have on your plate?
Oh man, it's tough. Fortunately, they say it takes a tribe, and it does for anything. Everyone's super supportive. If something comes up work wise for training, Primo and the guys are super supportive, and vice versa. I actually just sold my other business. I had Defiance Diesel, a performance shop, for 7 years, and I sold that to actually a really good friend of mine to kind of free up life a little bit, so I could spend some more time with my kids and my wife and train and kind of enjoy life a little bit, because that was pretty much my life. So took over doing some sales and rentals as far as power sports goes, and it's been awesome. It's really freed up some time, so I don't have to be married to one spot all the time. But it's great. I mean, there's been plenty of times where they've all conflicted each other, and just we all have good communication. My wife hasn't killed me yet, so I guess we're doing good there. She holds it together pretty well for everybody. So,
And how many kids do you have?
I got two girls.
Do they know the fact as to what your, I guess, your hobby or your physical outlet is in combat sports, and what do they think of that?
Oh yeah. Actually, my we got quite a gap. I got a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. And the 9-year-old's pretty conservative, pretty laid back. She comes to the gym every once in a while. She loves all the guys, but she really hasn't gotten into it. She loves it, but she can't quite handle seeing me do it yet. She'll sit there and watch a whole UFC with me and love it and everything else. But the little one's absolutely wild and insane. And anytime there's a glove laying around, she picks it up and tries to punch me with it, and comes to the gym, hits bags. Loves it. She's crazy. So I think she's gonna be the fighter, and the older one, hopefully she'll grow into it. But she's more the one that worries for dad, and the other one would just rather beat dad up. So
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I do have to get a fight pick from you, because I really got to applaud the NEF team for making this event the day before the upcoming UFC event the following day. And obviously Nate Diaz and Khamzat Chimaev is the main event. So, a lot of people are going to be clamoring to a TV to watch that one. Who do you expect to win? I know Diaz is a fan favorite, but he's a massive underdog. Can he get it done, or do you expect Khamzat to win?
I don't know. I mean, Chimaev is incredible. The guy's an absolute animal, but Nate Diaz is the man. I don't know how you can go against Nate either way. Love him or hate him. So we'll see. I just hope it's a good fight. I want to see some banging. So,
do you have like a favorite fighter, whether it's UFC, Bellator, or someone that you just really enjoy watching more than everyone else?
Oh man, I'm gonna catch shit for this, but if I said Ryan Sanders, I'm gonna catch so much shit. But no, not really. I like Max Holloway. I love watching him. He's gritty. He loves to bang it out, and he's not afraid of anyone. So I'd probably have to go with him.
That's a good one. And that just goes to show how good or how great Alexander Volkanovski is. I mean, my God, that last fight was just, I didn't expect that. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, me either. He handled him pretty easily.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into this matchup with Brett Martin. Again, NEF 49, September the 9th here at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor, Maine. Brett's 2-0. He looks every bit of 185 and more. I feel like just looking at the guy, he might be able to fight at light heavyweight if he wanted to, because he's tall, he's long. What do you know about him? What kind of a style do you feel like he has, and how does that translate to the cage against you?
Uh, yeah, Brett, he's built, he's got muscles on muscles. His first fight was the same night of mine and Brian's, and so I got to watch that, and of course I've watched it a bunch since. But he's really well rounded. He didn't I didn't see much on the ground, but his stand up was there, his cardio was there. He seems to bring it. He's not afraid of standing up and throwing. So he's a hell of an opponent, and I really look forward to getting in there with him. I think it'll be fun. I got the last fights, I got to actually talk to him quite a bit. First time I'd really talked face to face to him. So I had a weird feeling after that conversation that I was going to see him sometime, and then lo and behold, here we are.
Were you sizing him up at the time, being like,
Oh,
okay?
of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, at the time I was probably still 215, 218 probably. And, he's tall and lanky, and pretty well built. I always loved and respect this sport that it's amazing the physique, the differences in physiques in the sport. It's crazy to see. So you can never judge a fighter on just how he looks. I like to think I'm a pretty strong guy. I can handle most guys pretty easily that way. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
How tall are you?
I'm about 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay, so he's only got like 2 inches on you. That's not much of a difference. And as far as this fight taking place on the feet versus on the ground, it sounds like I guess maybe from the outside looking in, that both of you guys prefer to stand and trade. Do you feel like that's what this fight is going to turn out to, and the fans here in Bangor are going to be treated to a slugfest?
Yeah, I mean, I've got all the intentions of the world, throwing big, heavy, and hard. Hands, legs, you name it, and I expect the same from him. He's the same kind of guy. He's gonna want to bring it to me just as hard as I'm gonna want to bring it to him. So we'll see what happens in the end.
And I know the NEF, they haven't released the whole fight card yet, but are you able to say how many fighters from Vision Quest should be competing on this card without mentioning names?
Well, it's we were supposed to have one more. Hopefully we were going to see Julian Soroy's, but it didn't work out so well for him, which is unfortunate. Like, that poor kid, I mean, he put in a full camp. He went through a roller coaster of emotions and busted his ass. So it's too bad he's not getting rewarded, but hopefully he'll get one soon, because that kid's an absolute animal. He's a beast. So I can't wait to see him fight again.
But there will be somebody else, right? There will be one other Vision Quest fighter on the card, right?
On this one, Ryan. Yeah, we'll have Ryan. Oh,
okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen the announcement yet. That's why I wasn't sure about it, because I didn't know if it was official.
Yeah, no, he's fighting. We really don't know much about his opponent. We really don't care. Whoever you put in front of him, he's going to charge at. So, hopefully we see the poster soon. I mean, I know he's on the main card poster, but there hasn't been any big announcement yet. But he's here to fight.
And what is he like towards the end of camp? I remember being in the sauna with him once when he was trying to cut to 155, and I just can't imagine what that was like for him. I mean, he's such a big guy as it is anyways. How dialed in and just focused is he right now?
Oh, I mean, he's so super focused. He's such a professional about everything, the whole process. As far as being a captain and leader to the rest of us, as far as doing and saying all the right things. Right now I know he feels shitty. Him and I did a training session together this morning, and he's looking pretty skinny. He's a big kid. He's long, tall, lanky, rugged. He's in the gym every day, but the weight cut's tough, and he likes to eat outside of camp. So changing his whole diet around, he can get a little grumpy, but he always holds it back really well and stays super professional about it. And he's so focused on the end goal that I don't think there's anything that kid wouldn't do to achieve what he wants to right now.
And he is built very similar to Brett Martin, right? So that has to help as far as the look goes, sparring in camp.
Yeah. Oh, big time. He's really long, lanky, super accurate. It really helps me be able to maneuver around that and protect myself and, get inside his reach and, work to my advantages.
All right. Last question for me, Brandon. And you don't seem like a Conor McGregor shit talker, so I don't expect you to go down that route. But just how ultimately do you see this fight ending? What is your prediction here?
Oh man, that's a hard question, man. I got to be the nice guy, but ideally, everyone wants to get a big time knockout. That's what I'm gonna go for. I'm sure he's going for the same on the other end, so that's what's gonna make this exciting.
Can't wait, man. Are we going to see you back in the NEF cage before the end of the year, as long as you're healthy?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really concentrated and focused on this when we get past it and get a win. Then yeah, if I end up staying healthy and getting a win after this one, then hopefully we can get another one right after it.
Very good, man. Well, great interview. I appreciate the time today. Again, Brandon Oldenburg will meet Brett Martin this Friday, September the 9th at NEF 49. Before we do sign off, man, I want to give you the floor. Anything you want to plug, like your business, your website, feel free to do that. If you have any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I would, love to thank my team. We got Charles Sullivan, Old Man Chris, Ryan, Tim Murray, Max Rogers, Julian Sorois, Eddie. We got a new guy that hopefully we'll see soon. He's going to be an animal too. And then of course, can never forget Primo. And none of this would happen without him. And then of course, all my family and friends, and my wife. I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for her and all her support.